All right, so hey everyone, and welcome, I guess, to the first lecture of Python 3. Well, this might not look so satisfying, but whatever, I like it. So, let me just move this here, but let's explain today's episode. Well, today we are kicking off and we're going to start with the basics of the Python. So, don't worry, I won't be bombarded with you or I'm not going to explain complicated concepts, but in future, yeah, maybe. Think of this as a Python 101, your friendly introduction to one of the most popular and versatile programming languages out there. So, what are we going to have on our agenda today? Well, we'll start by understanding what Python is and why it's such a big deal in the programming world. And we're going to explain some functions, some loops, some of its basic concepts that you need to know. Now, let's set up the environment first. So, first thing first is that you need to set up the environment. Now, the first thing you gotta go, you have to install Python for your browser, or I mean your laptop, if it is Windows or Mac. Then once you've installed that, you have to come to the extension and search up here on your Visual Studio Code, of course. I mean, I haven't explained Visual Studio Code before, but it's something really easy. You have to download the extension of Python, which is here is free and you can install it, but here I will uninstall it, so I don't want to do that. Now let's just go back to our code and then so first you do that to set up the environment. It's not a big deal. Now the first thing you have to worry here is how you're going to understand this, and it's going to be really easy. So by rewatching. Now I will sharing tips, ticks, and some fun facts about Python to keep you living. So let's start the first part. Now let's dive into the heart of the Python. Well, Python is a high-level interpreted language. This means it's user-friendly and easy to read. It's really easy. First thing, let's talk about the Python syntax. Well, for you to know, syntax is just a fancy word for how we write our code. Now, how we write our code depends. Well, by understanding it, we're going to look at some basic concepts to understand. So, first concept of the Python are variables, or let's just say vars. Well, var is used in JavaScript, of course, but vars like this as variables. Now, variables could like label box which you can store data on them. Sorry about my stutter. You can put anything inside this box. Let's do a test. For example, you want a number, a text, or a name. We can put the number. For example, my dash number. You put 10, right? Or let's say my name. My name, for example, let's say Jack. Like this. Really easy, really simple. You just type down those numbers. Now, simple, right? Variables are super handy for storing and manipulating data. You just store them and you come down and then you point out print, as you've all seen before, my number. Now, when you want to print, just go run the code and you can see here, command not found. Oh, that was a mistake. Well, let's just forget here. That's my mistake. Every programmer makes a mistake once, but no worries. The second thing we are going to talk about are the data types. Well, Python has several data types, but let's start with the basics. So the first one are the integers, or int, as you might all know. Now, integers, these are whole numbers. They're like either 3, 300, 400, or 2023. All these words are integers, no matter what. They're just whole numbers. So I'm just going to write down here like 400 or 300 or 2023. Just going to write here. Yeah, these are our integers. Then we have the floats, or just say float. Floats are the decimal numbers, like 3.15, or let's say 5.10, 230.45, sorry, 0.45, this kind of stuff. These are called floats. Now, we got to know about the sequences of characters, like Hello World or Python is fun. What are they? They're strings, or str. So what are strings? Strings are the sequences of characters, like Hello World. This is different from print. Remember, don't confuse this. Everyone who first uses Python, they think a hello world is just the variable, but it's not, it's not. Python is fun. I don't think so. Well, if you become once a programmer, like a real programmer, you're gonna understand what I mean. Then we have the booleans. Well, expression is like this. Like I mean, the pronunciation is like this. You can just write it as bool if you want to say in JavaScript. So remember, bool means boolean, which these represent the truth value. They're either true or false, depending on your data. Either they're true or false. So either Jack is true or is false, or Jack's number is 10, or is it false? It depends. Now, these were our second type. We have the third, the operators. So these are just some easy stuff that you might think is boring, but these are really important in future. Operators are like the verbs of Python, which we use in English. They tell Python what to do with your variables. The basic ones include the arithmetic operators, which are like plus, or let's say like minus, like multiplication, like division, this kind of stuff. These are used for your numbers, for your arithmetic operators. Let's say 2 plus 2 is of course 4. But when you run 2 plus 2, it's going to tell you it's 4. Or let's say 2 times 5. Something like this. Then we have the comparison operators. Comparison operators are used like this for and, this, or greater, or smaller, or greater or equal to, or smaller or equal to. Well, you're gonna find out about them more later on, so just don't worry about them. And at the end, of course, we have our infamous comments. But with comments, by using the hashtag symbol. So if you've seen other videos before, don't think that you have to use this. It's completely wrong. This is used for web development and JavaScript. It's for computer science, not data science. We have to use hashtag. For example, we are learning Python. But what's the function of a comment? Well, comments are notes to yourself or others that a Python interpreter ignores for you to know that we are learning Python. Just the code is not interpreting that. That's simple as that. Now that we've got a simple knowledge and we got our feet inside this, let's just explore a little bit more, and we're gonna guide you step by step to open up your Python and your editor of VS Code. Let's start writing your first lines of code using these. Now, writing the classic hello world, which is like really trend that everyone talks about, it should be like this. So write Python print hello world. Sorry, we put comma. Now you see this one is different. So when we run the code, oh my god, again, but whatever. It's gonna print out hello world. So let's just ignore our running here because it's going to be driving me crazy, of course. But let's just say it's gonna be like print hello world. Now you're gonna look at that later in your browser, but here I cannot have the access, and right now I don't know how. So in the next session probably I will. Now when you run this, Python will display the text hello world like this, of course, certainly. It's gonna print out like this. But congratulations, you just wrote your first line of code. I mean, it's that simple. For example, write, my name is, I don't know, Jack. Or let's say, I am happy. These are the first lines, of course, you can practice. Now, one recommendation for you if you want to learn Python faster. While I'm teaching this or you're watching this video, just open up your editor and also edit with me on your other device or on the same laptop. Now, let's play around a little bit more. Remember we talked about variables? Let's create a variable to store your name and then print it out. So, let's go like this. My name variable, as you remember, don't look up. And you put your name, whatever, your name. Okay, your name. Let's put Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. Okay, we got a name here, and then we gotta say print hello. My name is. You gotta put then. Oh no, we should put the double quotes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about the mistake. We have to put the double quotation. That's my problem, but it's my first time, of course, teaching Python, so ignore me. These are the basics. You just don't have to worry. Then when you write hello my name is and you finish with the expression which is not in your data, so put a comma, then my name. which is gonna print out your name, which is Daniel. So I'm gonna try again. I hope it works. Oh my god, it doesn't work. No, please no. It doesn't work again. Oh my god. Just print it out later. You know what I mean. You gotta understand. Now, replace your name here with your actual name or your Daniel with something else you might like. Just remember, it's what happens. It's really cool, right? So let's take it one. Oh, run Python file in terminal. Oh, okay, we can run it here, and it's just gonna be worse. Let's take this one step further. Well, if you want to take this one step further, we can add two numbers in Python, which is as straightforward as you can imagine. So let's say number one, which is 5. Then we can get number 2, which is 10. Okay? So let's do this. Sum of number 1. I have to put the B here. Sorry for my wrong mistake. Plus number 2. So as you remember, what were they? They were, of course, as we talked about, our arithmetic operators, which is an addition. Then you print the sum is, comma, sum. Simple as that. It's gonna turn out, of course, to be 15. I mean, come on, that's really stupid. Now let's try it another way. Let's put 12 times 10. And this one, we put multiplication. So 12 times 10, of course, it's going to be, it's going to print out the sum is 120. It's going to print out this one. So then if you want to do division, it's going to be another way. Now, this program adds two numbers, of course, and brings out the results. You can change your number 1 or number 2 to something else as whatever you like. Now here's a fun challenge for you. Create two variables to store your birth year and the current year. So I'm going to write it down as a comment here. Create a variable to store your birth year, and then create a variable to store your age, of course, from the current year. Now, what you have to do here is to calculate these two numbers using operators. Either can be arithmetic or our other operator, which is a comparison operator, of course. They can compare it. Of course, your birth year is going to be greater than your current year, of course. So remember, key to learning programming is practice. Don't worry about anything. If you make a mistake in the comments, just tell me. Don't worry at all. I'm always here. I know I'm not a good teacher, but I'm always here. Don't worry. So at the end part or the final part of this basics, which you need to know as a 101 introduction for the Python, we're gonna only talk about conditional statements. Conditional statements for now. Now, this could be the last part, and I'm promising this will be the last part. So, let's talk about conditional statements. So, in Python, we use if or elif and else to make decisions. If, elif, or just else statements to make our decisions better. These are called our conditional statements. How they help us decide which path to take based on a certain condition. For example, let's make an example. Age is equal to 19. If age is greater than 19, then print you are an adult, okay? But else, if our code, of course, else means if our code did not print out the age bigger, smaller than 19, you can print out you are a kid. You can try it out yourself. You can see how it works. The script checks the age and prints out a message. Another one is our loops. Loops. What are loops? Loops are here to repeat a task multiple times. As you know, looping means repeating, in another word, as a synonym. How do the loops work? Well, let's say here you can use a for loop. We have only one type of loop in Python. For now, you need to know which are called for loops. Now, how does a for loop work? Well, you say for I, which is a variable, in range, for example, 5. What does it show? This prints out I love coding. Are you confused about not understanding this? Well, let me explain this to you. For every loop you're going to make, an in range or out range, you have to put this I. This I is necessary depending on your code. 5 means repeat 5 times my code. You can put it as 200 times or even 2 times. This could work. This could do the deal. And at the end, we're gonna only talk about functions. I know this is taking really long. I was supposed to be 10 minutes, but it's been 15 minutes. Sorry, because I'm not a good instructor, but there's no sorry, of course not. Well, functions, they are a key concept in Python, which you need to know for our final pods. And functions are like mini programs within your program, and they perform a specific task and can be used repeatedly. So here is a basic function you need to know. For example, define, which is a function, greet name. Greet is just the kind of function you want, and then you say print f hello, which f here stands for your value. Then you put name and then closed. So that easy. Now here the name is your greeting. Of course, it's going to be greet. And then here, of course, is the text itself. And then you have to put your greet or your definition or your function inside these. Now, let's do another one. Greet Alice and greet Bob. You know what this is going to do? Let me show you the magic deal. It's going to print out hello Alice, and that's going to print out hello Bob. Simple as that. You're going to learn this really fast. I'm proud of that. So let's not forget these, and let's all remember always, what did we learn today? As a quick reflection, we learned about variables here. Then we learned about data inputs, or we got integers, float, string, and boolean. Then we got our operators, which were the arithmetic is plus, minus, multiplication, or even division. Then we had our comparison operators like and, or smaller, or smaller, or greater or equal to, these kind of stuff. And then we had our comments here. Then we learned about how to write the first line of code. Of course, print I'm happy. That's really easy. Then we had another step of writing our first code, which was here. Hello, my name is Daniel. Then we learned about the conditional statements, which were here. And after that, you had our practice here. After that, we had our loops for repetition here, and a conditional statement here again. And at the end, of course, we had our functions, which were here. I'm going to separate it. You're free to use it. Functions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for all. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've liked our video, of course, like and subscribe and share with your friends. And of course, don't forget to watch our other videos. This was just our introduction to Python, and I will see you guys soon in the future in the journey of this Python. Thank you so much, and see you soon. See you next time.